Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast update for the Western U.S. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, here are your temperatures here first thing on Tuesday morning. We've got some cold air slipping into parts of the Midwest and the interior Rockies. Temperatures in the single digits and the teens. Cold air, relatively speaking, to what we've seen so far on what's been a relatively mild start to the winter across the midsection of the country. We do have a storm system developing across the midsection of the U.S. here that's going to be bringing some snow to parts of the central and southern plains before making its way off to the east-northeast and dropping a whole lot of snow on parts of New England. As we shift our attention back toward the west, we continue to see strong onshore flow continuing to blast the Pacific Northwest. We'll look at the radar picture first thing Tuesday morning. Again, scattered rain and thunderstorms from western Washington down into northern California. We've got the snow in the higher elevations across Washington down into Oregon. We'll jump back and we'll look at the surface picture. Tuesday morning on the left, Wednesday morning on the right. And again, we've got our midsection storm system here across the south, pushing into New England as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. And then strong onshore flow from the Pacific, continuing to bring moisture into the Pacific Northwest. The hazards map here on Tuesday morning, we got a winter weather advisory across parts of the central and southern plains. We've got winter weather advisories in portions of the higher elevations of Washington and northern Idaho into northeastern Montana. Winter storm watch in parts of the higher elevations of the Sierras. The last 7 days of precipitation, again, it's been really focused on the Pacific Northwest, and as we look at the next 7 days, it'll continue to be much of the same. The Pacific Northwest, northern California, with precipitation trailing off then in the form of snow across the northern and the central Rockies. We'll take a look at a closer look at the precipitation totals across the west here in a moment, but this is the setup. Again, just a series of systems across the North Pacific that continue to take this trajectory into the Pacific Northwest. A lot of moisture being delivered to British Columbia down into the Pacific Northwest, the northern Rockies. This is the storm system that has slipped down into the central and southern plains, rounding the base of that trough, and then eventually will be lifting into New England. So I'll hit play on this. We'll let this get into motion here. And again, you just watch the series of systems moving ashore across this region. So the pattern continues to live. A high off to the south of that, unfortunately, flow coming around that clockwise. We get westerly flow coming off of Colorado. So again, this is the pattern we've been talking about over the last several weeks, really the entire winter season, that continues to soak the Pacific Northwest, with the area of high pressure continuing to keep the area, the southern portions of the west on the dry side. So it's wet north, dry south, and that continues to be the theme here as we head into the end of December. So I'll hit play on the precipitation forecast from the European model, and you can see it there as we head through the next week or so, continuing really to just focus a lot of the precipitation on the same areas. So we'll bring it back. We'll go through time with this one, watching each individual storm. Watching one make landfall right now. That's why we've got the precipitation making its way through Washington and Oregon today. The winter weather advisories across northern regions of Washington into northern Idaho, northeastern Montana. This is now taking it into Tuesday evening and now overnight tonight. Precipitation starting to taper off across the region. Then we get another blast here as we get into Wednesday night and Thursday. That's when we'll get another round of coastal rain, high elevation snow. This is the one that has triggered the winter storm watches in the Sierras. That would move through the area on Thursday before slipping out of the area Thursday night into Friday morning. Another lull then as we head through Friday before another wave makes its way ashore here across Washington and Oregon Friday night into Saturday. So a really busy pattern across northern portions of the west. Meanwhile, a very dry pattern across the south. It's the same forecast every 3 to 4 days, I feel like, that I'm giving to you folks. So here's the next 7 days of precipitation. This is where we see things maximized. Coastal portions and high elevations of British Columbia down into the western half of Washington and Oregon. Again, this system over the Thursday will bring that precipitation down into northern California. I always want to say Colorado. Northern California with the winter storm watch in the Sierras. But again, as we look at the next 7 days across central and southern California, eastward into the Four Corners region, continuing to keep things dry. And as we zoom out, look at the next 15 days, today through December 30th. Again, it's the same pattern continues to soak the north And then we continue to see systems then sneak through, bringing a little bit of snow to the northern and central Rockies before really leaving much of the central United States dry. So even here in the Midwest, where we would be expecting some snowfall here, seasonally appropriate as we approach the holidays, not happening as we continue a dry pattern. Just no subtropical jet. That means, again, not a trajectory that's going to be doing much for Colorado. Not a trajectory that's going to be doing much for us here in the midsection of the country either. Now, temperatures, we'll see a few pushes of cold air try to make their way in here. Generally looking mild as we finish out December. But what does that look like in the Central Valley, where we've had some freeze concerns here with the dry weather? I pulled out the forecast here, the 10-day trends from the National Blended Model for Fresno and Madera, and it looks like as we go through the next 7 to 10 days, we're talking about a lot of days with highs in the mid to upper 50s, a lot of days with lows in the mid 30s, but we will flirt with freezing temperatures here at times, especially as we get into the weekend. We'll get another little shot of cold air, but right now it doesn't look like we'll be dealing with anything as far as, a deep freeze across the Central Valley, but at times flirting with overnight lows getting close to freezing. A national look at your high temperatures over the next several days then. Here is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then into Saturday. We're back to talk about the Western region once again on Friday. Have a great day.